Hi, I'm Tara Williams, and I'm here to talk about the three chapters dealing with chapters 4, 5, and 6. All three chapters dealing with communication, verbal communication, non-communication, and listening and thinking in the communication process. Uh, Basically, what I took from the chapters I think the chapters went really in depth about communication and how communication works. Um, the book defined language as a structured system of signs, sounds, gestures, or marks that is used and understood to express ideas and feelings among people within a community, nation, geographic area, or cultural tradition. And of course, we use different types of languages. There are different kinds of people. Um, the way we communicate in the United States may be completely different than the way somebody communicates in Russia or Spain or Africa. Um, One gesture that we may present in our country may be offensive to someone in another country. I also found interesting while reading the listening and thinking process. Well, no, let's say the listening and hearing process. The difference between listening and hearing. And listening is an active. It's an active action, and hearing is more passive. You ever heard somebody say you hear what you want to? Or you ever heard someone say you're a good listener? Well, I think that a person who is a good listener is not being judgmental and not trying to necessarily convey their thoughts or ideas. They're listening to what the person is trying to tell them. They're actively engaged in what the person is trying to tell them, as opposed to trying to develop an opinion or give an opinion about whatever it is the person is communicating to them. It also talked about bias and prejudice. If someone is, before someone even opens their mouth, their nonverbal communication comes across the way they sit, the way they gesture, the way they make facial expressions, and that sort of thing. My mother used to say to me a lot when I was a child, you don't have to open your mouth. I can see what you're thinking on your face. I'm not really good at hiding how I think or how I feel about something because the expression is on my face. So those are non-communication, or should I say non-verbal expressions on my face that my mother used to be able to tell when I was feeling a certain way, or if I was upset about something or whatever the case may be, and I may not have necessarily wanted to divulge at that time whatever was going on with me. She could kind of already tell. So I felt like these chapters did a very good job of breaking down the different types of communication, and it was so much information that there's no way to go over it all. But the things that I found, should I say, that kind of jumped out at me was the part about being an active listener, because sometimes, actually in the relationship that I'm in now, sometimes I struggle with being an active listener, listening to what he may have to tell me or what he's trying to communicate to me, as opposed to me wanting to say my part or get my point across. So overall, I think, again, it was a very good breakdown of information, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be boring reading, and it turned out not to be. So that's my synopsis of chapters 4, 5, and 6.